This is the Big Deal Podcast, brought to you and powered by New Covenant Baptist Church in Albertville, Alabama. And on this podcast, we're asking the question, what's the big deal about all things Bible, theology, and culture? I'm Justin.
I'm Brad.
Welcome to the Big Deal. How you doing?
Real good.
Real good, man. You got a lot of good, fun stuff coming up, don't you?
Yes, I'm fixing to go on vacation.
Where you going?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
Yep, we're going out there. Kevin Costner riding around on horses.
Are you going to ride a horse?
I'd seriously doubt it.
Yeah. You don't like horses?
We're actually going to Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah.
I don't care about horses.
Zoe told me yesterday that y'all are basically no fun at all on vacation. Her whole family.
You know, Zoe shouldn't say such things.
Yeah. she was like, they're not going to do anything adventurous or fun. I'm the only one who will climb up on things.
Let me go ahead and tell you this. The three of us will have fun.
Oh, is that how it is?
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah.
There's always somebody on vacation that ain't having no fun, and the problem ain't everybody else.
It's them.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I do.
You picking up what I'm putting down?
I'm picking up what you. I'm
it
stepping
ain't.
in
You
what
got
you're laying
that person.
down.
You got that person that ain't never happy. Unless you're
She's never content. Yeah,
no, can't be content.
Zoe, if you're listening to this, you better chill out.
Yeah. It's like, hey. We're flying her to Yellowstone. She hasn't even set foot on the ground and already complaining that we ain't having no fun. What is going on here? Does that sound like a me problem?
Zoe's about to be getting in trouble this next week, I think. I think she's going to have some trouble.
She's going to be put out with the buffaloes.
Yeah. She's like, I guess you're going to walk the rest of the way, Zoe.
Yep, it's a long way.
She's excited about the minivan, though.
Yes. Yeah. Finally, something. She wanted to walk around Yellowstone. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't talk about my daughter on this so much, but she wanted to walk around Yellowstone. I said, it takes 4 hours to drive across Yellowstone. Uh-huh. It's huge. People don't understand how big it is. Yeah. It's massive. It's larger than the northeastern quadrant of our state. Yeah. And Alabama's not a little state. Yeah. It's millions of acres.
We're a middle state.
Yes. And so it's a long way.
Yeah.
It takes you 3 hours to drive from like the hot springs to Old Faithful. Mm-hmm. It's a long way. Yeah. You can't walk around. And she was like, I want to walk around and hike and stuff. And I'm like, we will drive to the place, get out of the car, and still have long way to hike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like saying drop. I can't.
She'll get it figured out.
It's
a learning experience.
She'll be, as long as we keep her fed, she'll have fun.
Oh, is she a hangry person?
Boy, the worst I've ever seen.
Oh, man.
I love her so much. She's the best.
I have seen a hangry person. I don't know.
Yeah.
They might be listening to this podcast.
Is it me?
No.
Oh, okay.
Love you, Steph.
Oh,
so much.
She gets hangry too?
Yeah. It's like, it's funny. We'll be talking about it. And she'll call me. She's like, hey, what were you thinking for supper? The conversation is always like, how deep are we in on this? Like, is this like, we need a solution right now? Or is this like something we can wait on?
What's crazy is people who have hangry issues. Yeah. It's wild
how quickly
they get better after you feed them.
It is nuts.
They're like, it's like, here, have this Snickers bar. It's almost like that. And they're like, boing, they're back. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, there we go.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I can get a little hangry. I guess everybody can.
I'm not much of a hangry person. I get like that if I'm tired.
Yeah.
I do, 100%.
If I'm tired and hungry.
If I'm wore out, like that's where I go and stuff. The hunger doesn't do it to me. But like,
I think maybe that's it. But normally when I'm that place of tired, I'm also hungry. Yeah. Because I haven't stopped to eat. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's a common phenomenon. Yeah.
Zoe is a ton of fun, and she will make sure it's going to be fun. But
she's
like
everybody
else,
man. Yeah.
like everybody else, they got, you got, there's, you hit a few, you miss a few.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hey, what's your dream vacation, man?
I don't know, man. I think go back in time and go to Universal with my kids when they were little again.
Oh, do that again.
That was great.
Oh,
go to when we went to Harry Potter when they were the Harry Potter World at Universal when they were like right in the wheelhouse. Best vacation.
Like around 12.
I think Ethan was probably 11 or so, and so it was about 8 or 9. Oh, man. She got chosen for the little wand waving thing.
That's what happened to Evie.
My goodness. Yeah. What Ollivanders.
Yeah, at Ollivanders.
And I spent $75 on a wand. We were like, "Do
It
you
was
want it?"
$75.
Or 50, whatever.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a lot. Everything.
Yeah.
You can't walk around.
I'm just surprised that I was like, that's more expensive than Eevees.
Oh yeah.
And so I was but I'm surprised that either that they're still similarly priced,
Yeah.
or that it's cheaper now. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
well, that was probably, 10 years ago, 8 years ago? Yeah, I don't know. We tried to talk her into a different one, but she was like, this one chose me.
Yeah.
She was in. We were like, of course it did. Of course it did. We're going to
It's
get
the most
this.
expensive one.
Yep. It's very nice. We still have it.
Yeah, Evie has her. She plays with it every day.
Yeah. Did y'all go around and wave at the stuff and make it move?
Oh yeah, we did all the things.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that they've like fixed. They've upgraded the tech on it, because at first it was like kind of shoddy, but like,
Yeah,
it
was
works.
pretty shoddy there. You had to try
Yeah.
it 3 or 4 times.
It
But
works
then-
pretty well now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got it kind of figured out.
It's so fun. We had a good time at Disney with the Star Wars thing, but it was
Yeah.
COVID and it was weird in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It wasn't as magical as Universal. I don't know what
Really,
happened. We just
I would
struck
go
gold
back
there.
to Disney right now.
Yeah.
I would go back to Disney right now. Maybe actually it feels a little cooler. I'd really go back.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't bother me that much, but I just love Disney World, man. It's just
Really?
enchanting. I love it.
What
man.
was your favorite park?
I loved Magic Kingdom. I loved Magic Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Hollywood Studios is great. It's had all the Star Wars stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like I loved how much stuff there was. I loved how they were able to make a theme park that accessible for kids.
Yeah.
Like that, like small kids can hang and have fun and do everything.
It's so weird.
It's wild.
It's wild.
Like seeing, I've been going to Six Flags for decades,
Oh,
right?
my gosh.
And it's like the difference.
You can't go back there now.
Well, it's just Six Flags is a adult roller coaster park.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also redneckish, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Stuff like that. But when you think of like what the, you know what I mean,
Dude,
meaning like the kind of roller coasters, the height requirements, those things.
Oh, I know.
There's nothing there for small kids.
Trust me, man.
Yeah.
But even if you and Steph went on a date to Six Flags, after having been to Universal and to Disney, you're gonna be like, I feel like I'm at a carnival.
Yeah, it's a
That's how it
carnival
feels. It's a
comparison.
carnival.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom was like, it was a magical
It's
place.
magic.
It is.
But every time I go there, they got their problems, right?
Yeah.
Their political issues, whatever. But
I
I
don't
thought,
even care.
man, if we could organize the government as well as Disney World is organized, we would be Wakanda forever.
Oh, they got it figured out, man.
Oh my goodness!
They have
There's
it.
not a bubblegum wrapper on the ground
Yeah, there was this thing
for 6 square miles.
We left after the fireworks one night
Yeah.
at Magic Kingdom. I mean, it's thousands of people, tens of thousands of people trying to leave the park. And you can only get in and out of that one on the ferry and on the monorail,
Yeah.
right? It takes a while. It's a lot. And there were like some people that were like really peeved about waiting in the line, just sitting around, waiting around for it. But I was sitting there looking at that many people. I'm like, no one else could do this better than they are doing it right now.
Oh.
Like there's no way you can get that many people out of this park.
They're
the way-
moving 10,000 people in an hour.
They did it.
I know.
And they do it every night.
Like clockwork.
Yeah.
Even the doggone landscaping.
Yeah.
Like you go one day and you'll look at them and it'll be Mickey Mouse on the side of a hill made out of tulips. And it's like, whoa, that's nice. But if you pay attention, in like 4 days, it's a different flowers.
Yeah.
Like they just go re-landscape everything.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. What?
What? How?
Yeah. It's very impressive.
It's very.
Yeah. It's magical. It's a magic place. I liked it a lot. We're going to go again. Archer got like he got like a free pass to every one of like the parks.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a thing that they give them and stuff. And so like, man, we gotta figure out how we can take advantage of that. We're gonna go back in the winter or something.
I know it. Epcot's cool. It's not as cool.
We didn't
for
go
the
to
kids.
Epcot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not as cool for the kids. It's cool for grown-ups.
Yeah, it was like the old fogey park, so we didn't go to that one.
Yeah, maybe that's where I'm at in life.
Animal Kingdom is great.
Animal
Golly,
Kingdom.
such a cool
What's
place.
the one where the roller coaster goes backwards?
The Everest.
Oh, that's a great one.
That was Evie's favorite roller coaster.
That's a
Yeah.
great one.
It was
We
so
rode
cool.
that. Well,
we rode
the-
it twice in
the
a row.
good thing
yeah.
was when we
Yeah.
were there during COVID, they did all this goofy stuff, man. Like you could only ride every other car, so there was not many people in the car, but not many people were at the park. So we could just jump on stuff over
Yeah.
and over and over. I bet we rode that Yeti. I think it's called the Yeti.
It's called Expedition Everest.
Is it?
But there's
Is
a
it?
Yeti in it.
Yeah. And we probably wrote it 6 times,
Yeah.
7 in a row.
Such a great
It wrote
roller
it enough
coaster.
that I'm not a motion sick guy, but like after 7 times in a row, my body was like, "Hey man, what are we doing?
It's time to get off
It's
this.
time to stop this." I'm starting to feel a little queasy here. Yeah, Good
Such a cool
times.
place, though.
Cool place.
Yeah.
It is, man.
Like Disney is the whole company. They have done in some ways so well at like being great for kids.
Yeah.
It's so wild. Like that all of my children's favorite things in this world are related to Disney, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it's like their favorite TV shows, their favorite movies, their favorite stories, favorite songs. They knock it out of the park.
How do they do it? And also, like the people they hire, I guess they burn them out. They probably quit every year or something. They have to get a new Snow White or whatever. But like when they're dressed
No,
up,
dude, they love it. It's like it is a job. It's like a great job, apparently. They're paid well. So I had a friend.
If your kid starts talking to Kylo Ren or like Chewbacca, or wait, it's hard to talk to Chewbacca.
Yeah.
But like
Archer did it.
But like if you talk to one of those people, they act like they are Princess Leia.
They're
and they
actors.
will not stop being Princess Leia the whole time.
So we even got to hang out with Ray. Like we were there late in the afternoon at Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it was just her and Ray. They talked for like 5-10 minutes, man. And just hung out. And she was Ray the entire time. So impressive.
I think, did I read this about Disney? That if a kid comes up and hugs Ray, they do not let go first ever.
Really.
Yeah. The kids have to let go first.
I bet it's like that for all of them.
Yeah.
Like they did so good. They're all it's wild. I'm just so impressed with it. But I had a friend who in Bible college who ended up working at Disney and did the character. She was a character. She was one of the princesses for a while.
Yeah.
And the only reason she stopped was because she was having a baby.
Yeah.
And she loved it. Like
There's all
she
these
would
secret
post about it all the
there's
time.
like
Her
secret tunnels underneath
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Disney to get them from A to B and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
is that right?
And and there's the trash. All the trash cans are like connected to this underground network.
Really?
Did you ever see any janitor carrying a trash bag?
No.
You never will. It goes out of sight underground.
Wow.
And then they put it to this place where it like goes onto the dump trucks. You will never
Yeah.
see a piece of trash in
Yeah.
Disney. It is wild.
The food was so good.
The food is so good. Well, I had the first popper there. What do you call them little things? It's like looks like a plastic ball, bobas or something.
Oh, Boba Fett. Oh, no, Boba
No,
Fett.
yeah, they're
Boba
Boba
tea.
Fett.
Boba tea.
Boba tea.
Yeah,
we
Boba
went to the dude. I don't know what's wrong with my brain.
Oh, yeah, the cantina.
Oh, yeah, went to the
Olga's
cantina. Got me a little drink, and it was like bubbling the entire time, like big bubbles from
Yeah.
the bottom, and it was full of those little boba things,
Yeah.
and it was like $27 or something for a drink. But it was so good. We were in the cantina and they were doing
Yeah.
this stuff, and I thought, I could almost believe in this place.
So much fun, man.
I wanted to shoot Greedo.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So Evie's really into Star Wars right now.
Yeah.
she wants to watch Star Wars all the time, and it's so weird how like fun that is. It's so fun,
So
man.
fun.
Like that is
Zoe
her
was
favorite
too.
stuff.
She dressed up like Ray for Halloween, but like at some point she just turned the page and
Yeah.
was like done with that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, they find
she
something
never
else.
did on Harry Potter though.
Oh yeah,
If she's sitting in her room like studying or doing stuff, the first Harry Potter movie is stayed on loop in her room forever. I bet she's seen it 1,000 times.
oh my,
Probably.
that movie's magical too.
It
though.
is.
Yeah,
You know they're fixing to do a series.
yeah, on HBO.
Yeah, Zoe's terrified.
Oh, they're gonna mess it up.
Yes.
Did you hear who they got to play Dumbledore? What's his name?
Dumbledore. I don't know.
Yeah, Dumbledore. You remember that video?
I told Zoe it could be better because they won't have to skip stuff. They can do seasons and like actually do the whole book's justice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's John Lithgow.
Really?
Yeah.
He's Dumbledore?
Yeah.
What the heck,
I know.
man?
It's hard to imagine.
Zoe-
he's like a funny actor.
Is it
to
true
me.
that Snape is a black guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Zoe's worried about it.
Why?
She's like, well, when Harry's dad starts bullying him, it's going to seem like racism. I said, well, maybe. I don't know what to say about that.
That's. What would the year be? It might fit, but it's British. I don't know. I don't know what life was like around then.
It was the 90s, right?
Well, it was 90s when Harry was rolling around.
Yeah, isn't it? It's Hermione and Harry and all them.
Yeah, but like when Snape was being bullied would have been...
Oh, the 70s.
Yeah, I guess 70s, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Ish.
Ish, probably.
Yeah. All right. Well, bunch of racists. But Snape was, he's got they describe him as great big old hook nose and greasy hair. And
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think it's
I
probably
feel
an
like
inclusion
what happened,
thing.
honestly, this is not a critique. It's not a shot across J.K. Rowling's bow. I admire her very much. I think Snape developed in her brain. I don't think the Snape she wrote in book 1 is what she envisioned him being in book 7.
Oh, I don't think he was originally going to be a good guy.
No, I think it evolved.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's a nice little thing.
He's too cruel at the beginning.
Yes.
It's just too cruel.
Yep. He's
Yeah.
mean.
He's too mean. For someone who turns out it was always love, I was like, nah.
Double agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like.
So they can probably correct it. Maybe they can course correct.
Well,
it.
I think actually, what's the guy's name that played Snape? I don't care who plays Snape, they're not going to beat that guy.
Oh, didn't he die?
He did.
They're
He had
almost all
cancer.
of them, man.
Dude, Snape is dead.
Hagrid,
McGonagall,
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Well, the first Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of the main cast gone.
It's a curse.
And
Voldemort.
I don't know about that.
It's like the
I tell you what
Defense Against
is
Dark
also
Arts job.
weird is that Daniel Radcliffe has turned into a grown man. How did that happen?
I don't think he has actually.
Oh, actually, he's like 40.
Yeah, but he
30
looks.
something.
He's just look. His look is so.
Are we absolutely sure that him and the guy that plays Frodo aren't the same person?
Elijah Wood. Yeah.
Have you ever seen them
I know
together?
it. They're actually. I don't think they look similar.
What is it then?
I think they are just both small and delicate featured in fantasy shows.
Maybe so.
I don't think they actually look that similar.
If I had to pick out one of the cast of the three to hang out with, it's 100% the dude that played Ron Weasley, though. That guy is going to be fun. He would be fun at dinner.
I think so.
I think Harry and me wouldn't. Daniel, I think we'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I think I could make fun of Rupert Grint, and he'd be like, oh, "Shut up," he would like give it back a little bit. I'd be scared. I'd be scared I'd hurt Daniel Radcliffe's feelings.
I think Daniel Radcliffe kind of turned out weird. I think he's a kind of a strange duck.
He probably thinks that about me. If we knew each
Well,
other,
you definitely are.
I know.
Yeah. All right, we talk about the Bible on this.
The
podcast.
Lord bless him.
Yeah.
Help Daniel Radcliffe and all them people.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, man, having a gazillion pounds or whatever sterling. There's a gazillion pounds sterling, and everybody on earth, no matter where you go, looks at you and goes, "Oh my gosh, that's Harry Potter." You can't go anywhere, dude. Oh man,
I'm Harry Potter.
I'm Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
You can't do nothing. What's the girl's name that played Hermione? I can't remember.
Emma Watson.
The grown woman now.
Emma
She
Watson.
got away from it a little bit, but
Yeah.
my goodness, she can't go anywhere without people going, "Oh, there's Emma Watson."
Oh my
That's like,
gosh.
oh my gosh. There. I should have fixed my hair. Yeah, it's bad. I think Rupert Grint handled it. Hey, Rupert fan. Anyway, the Bible says
We talk about the Bible on this podcast.
we do.
That was
We can't help it.
yeah.
We're kind of nerds.
Yeah, kind of.
I know.
All right, let's talk about the Bible. We're in Numbers. We're in Numbers.
How are we going to follow Harry Potter with the Book of Numbers? This is going to be. We're going to make it interesting.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting passage.
It
so
is. Thank
this is
goodness.
we left them on a cliffhanger last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on the red heifers. Right. What are you gonna do with them red heifers?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So if you grew up in the church in the last 40 years, we'll say 40 years, in the South, it's probably more than the South, but we're familiar with this. There's kind of like a little cultural bubble, cultural phenomena that's happened here where one really wild theological construct for the end times dominated, right? Called dispensationalism.
Dude,
right?
when you said that, you just sucked my spirit away because I thought about all the goofy stuff that I was told in the 80s
Yep.
that has nothing to do with the Bible.
Yep.
And the red heifer is like the littlest one, but it's all connected.
It's connected, right?
Yeah, it's like we're watching the.
Left Behind.
Well, this was pre-Left Behind.
Okay, yeah.
This was pre-Left Behind.
Late great
like they're
Planet
telling
Earth.
us, like, man, if you listen to Ozzy Osbourne's records backwards, they're doing subliminal demonic messages that will make you shoot yourself.
Satanic Panic.
Yes, and D&D.
Yeah, D&D was in the...
And
there's a podcast I started listening to. Kyle, shout out Kyle, put me onto it. It's called The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
And it's a Christianity Today podcast. It's about the Satanic
Who runs
Panic.
that? Who's doing a podcast?
It's Mike Cosper. You know Mike Cosper?
I know him. I met him one time.
Mike Cosper, great dude, neat guy, right?
Yeah, he would have no idea who I am, but I met him one time.
Yeah.
It was at a Together for the Gospel thing. It was so weird. I don't know. I didn't know who he was.
He's a neat fellow, man.
I think he was a music guy, wasn't he?
He was. He wrote the book I hand off to people in music ministry. It's called Rhythms of Grace. Yeah.
Yeah.
About thoughtful liturgy in Baptist churches and stuff. You know,
I have no idea. We sat by a pool and talked for a little bit. I didn't know who he was.
He was
I don't know
part of Sojourn
why
Church.
that even happened.
Yeah.
This was probably 10, 15 years ago.
Neat guy. Anyways, he did this podcast.
Yeah.
It's on Satanic Panic in the 80s and stuff.
Oh, it was for real.
Dude. And so we have like these kind of cultural things like building on top of each other. And it's called it's not just dispensationalism, it's other stuff too, but it's kind of like falls under the label of dispensationalism, right? And I guess we can explain what that is.
Dispensationalism?
Yeah.
Can we? Can they? Okay.
No, that's the interesting.
Yeah.
It's so eclectic. It is such a. So I went to the seminary, the dispensational seminary.
You 100% did.
It is.
They
the
used to be
place.
the bastion.
It is.
Are they still?
Not really.
No.
They've like backtracked so much.
That's
on
Dallas
stuff.
Theological Seminary.
Yeah,
They
that's
used to
where I
be the
went to
bastion
seminary.
of this. I'll try it. You mean do it?
Yeah, and I'll add to it.
Yeah.
Well, I went there. I'll do it. And you
No,
add to it.
I'm not DTS.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
I'll talk about dispensation.
Yeah.
You talk about DTS.
Okay.
So it sort of began with something called the Schofield Bible.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, before that, but we can get to that.
The Schofield Bible popularized it.
Yeah, that's right.
It dispensationalism.
Look, your
I'd say-
granddad probably has a Schofield Bible.
Yeah, I have a Schofield. I don't know if I still do.
Yeah, it's very popular.
So, long story short, dispensationalism really starts in like the late 1800s. You say that's fair?
Yep, that's fair.
And then, so the guy who wrote, basically, it was one of the very first study Bibles ever.
It was.
It was called the Schofield Bible. And it was Schofield's notes on the Bible. Mm-hmm. And this guy was a dispensationalist. And the reason it was so popular is one is basically the first study Bible. And this was before anybody had an internet or a library. I mean, it became people's...
It's the first time you could open up your Bible and you have the question. Everyone does all the time, and they have this. What does this mean?
And they look in the margin,
and it tells you exactly what it means.
And so, so dispensationalism, early Schofield dispensationalism, that I would guess nobody holds to anymore.
Basically, no one. Yeah.
So he postulated there were 7 dispensations of God's grace,
and dispensation is basically like a time period.
And
like
and in those periods, God saved people in different ways.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I cringe to say that, but that's kind of
what
he
was.
Said. So you had the fall, like the garden to the fall, and then like Adam. I don't know all the dispensations, okay, but it's like Adam to maybe Noah to Abraham. Abraham to Moses,
Moses to David.
Temple period, and then you wind up with the church, pretty much. And the biggest hallmark, I guess, that kind of stuck around is there is a chasm almost between Israel and the church.
Yep.
And so kind of the underlying movement of dispensationalism, if you will, is that Israel is God's chosen people. Mm-hmm. And that is who God actually wants to save, kind of.
Yeah.
And when they reject Jesus, there is a parenthesis. There is a time where God is like, fine, Israel, do your thing. I'm going to save the Gentiles for a little bit. And so that's the church age. So the church is the grafting in of the nations. Yeah. But God is not done with Israel. And at the end of the church age is going to be the end of the world, sort of. So the church will be raptured out.
Yeah.
And pretty
Oh,
much,
there you get it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the first one. Another major hallmark of the
Yes.
dispensation is the idea of a rapture. a
yes,
secret rap, like where the Christians disappear in the future. You're
Yeah,
right.
there's no time to change your mind.
Yeah.
The sun has come and you've been left behind.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a song.
Yeah.
Dispensationalist anthem. Anyway, so there'll be a rapture. The church will come out in a secret rapture. We call it a secret rapture because, like, if you're familiar with Left Behind, everybody wakes up and is like, where'd all these people go?
Yeah.
And their clothes are folded neatly
Left
and their cars
behind
wreck and
these
planes.
those books and the movies. This is like part of this
Yeah.
theological idea.
And then there's going to be a tribulation upon the earth that will last 7 years.
Yeah.
They disagree about exactly timing of the rapture. There's pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib, pre-wrath positions, and all this is very complicated.
Yeah.
But they all agree there's going to be 7 years, and the Antichrist is going to be on the earth, and God is going to be working through to save Israel in that 7 years. At the end of the 7 years, then Jesus comes back for real, not in secret.
Yeah.
And it will be judged. The world will be judged. And then there's going to be a literal 1,000 years where Jesus reigns on the earth and the saints with him. And also, like, regular people will be here.
Yeah.
And at the end of that 1,000 years, there's another rebellion. But it's going to get just smushed almost immediately. And then the end is there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of... And there's about, like, Baskin Robbins, there's 57 flavors in between those
There's
things.
like developments and stuff. And,
Yes. And
But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
The oldest stuff, like the Schofield,
Yeah.
says that stuff like there's 2 active covenants. Like Israel has an active covenant still.
Every once in a while, like, I think maybe that Hagee guy.
John Hagee.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
He's still there.
Yeah.
But it's like, God is still saving Jewish people through the old covenant.
Yeah, they
It's
say stuff like that.
What?
No, like there's no real
Nobody
legitimate
at
people.
DTS is teaching that.
No, there's like no legitimate people who believe stuff like that. No, at DTS, so now it's like there's only like 3 dispensations now that they hold to, and they're like it's like the Mosaic covenant, or it's like
The fall.
pre-fall
Yeah.
Mosaic in the church.
At first, dispensation lasts about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. And they say that.
Yeah.
And they would say stuff about like the church, Israel, integrate that. They would say some of them would say like that Israel is part of the church. They would say stuff. It's called progressive dispensationalism.
Yes. I've got a book on it.
Yeah, my teacher,
There it is. The
Daryl
case
Bach.
for Saucy.
Yeah, Saucy is one of the first ones.
Case for progressive dispensationalism.
Dr. Bach was my teacher. He was the one who wrote a book. He wrote a book called Progressive Dispensationalism.
Yeah, there's a guy that helped me out from that, though.
Yeah.
He wrote The Case for Amillennialism.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, reading it. His name's Kim something. I can't remember.
Anyways, they don't believe all the crazy stuff anymore. Just
some of it.
Yeah, just some of it. But here's why. Like, you might be wondering, like, why would anyone do that? Why would anyone believe this stuff? Like, where did it come from? And what it comes out of, this is just a wild thing from history. Is like, you think about what happened in the first half of the 20th century.
Yeah.
So, crazy wars plus modernism.
Well,
right.
There was an idea that prevailed in the church before we started killing each other so much.
Yep.
And it was that it's called postmillennialism.
Yes.
And the idea with postmillennialism is that the church is slowly going to conquer the world through the gospel, not guns, right?
Yep.
So slowly the nations will give themselves to Jesus.
Yep.
And the gospel will flourish through the world. And once the world has basically become Christian, Jesus will come back.
That's right.
And
so it's like everything's getting better and better and better
for the church.
And
it's
that
spreading
lasted
everywhere.
from basically the I would say the Reformation in the 1600s all the way up until then.
Yeah.
Dominated.
Because you've got Germany and Portugal and Spain and England colonizing the whole world.
Yeah.
And everywhere they go, Christianity triumphs wildly. When you have the guns, you can convert some people.
That's
and
right.
you know,
right.
it's like, whoa, they have ships that can sail on the ocean. These white people must know God.
So this is the idea that things are getting better.
Yes.
Everything's better. This is the kingdom of God is conquering the world.
Yes.
Right?
And then the Kaiser of Germany and all these people this is also so weird. If this was a conspiracy theory thing, so the Habsburg dynasty, all those kings were related. The King of England, Germany, everybody. They're all cousins. And they get together, and there's like some pictures pre-World War I of all of them together, and they're all like first, second, third cousins. They're all related. Every single one of those royal families were related. They're acting like they're buddies, but in their basements, they're making bombs and tanks and guns and whatever technology allowed. Yeah. And then they start shooting and killing each other. And Christendom is destroyed.
It is. So the first half of the 20th century is just war, crazy war. The worst wars we've ever had.
Millions.
So it's like the idea of things getting better just crashes and burns.
And then it's replaced with an idea everything's just going to get worse.
Everything's going to get worse, right?
Until Jesus has to come back. There ain't going to be no Christians left in the world.
So you have that idea. Things are going to get worse, right?
Yeah.
Now that this is the prevailing idea. Plus, you have like scientific modernism, like really, you have the Scopes monkey trial, right? You have this like stuff about like what the scientific method, evolution is really like gaining some steam, and this like meticulous analysis of the world, in that there's a system. It all makes sense.
It all makes sense.
Connects and makes sense. And so what happens is the dispensationalists, they were like very educated Presbyterians, most of them. Like they had Princeton, they had it all.
You mean the covenantalists?
No. The dispensationalists, with the guys who were founding DTS, were all Presbyterians.
DTS. You said Princeton though. There weren't no Dispies at Princeton.
They left Princeton.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They were like they were all Presbyterians at first, right? And it's wild. And they were like learned people, man. And so they left Princeton for two seminaries, Westminster and DTS, and they split on that, on which ones they went to. They were trying to do this same kind of thing with the facts of the Bible. We need to make it all make sense. As they started making these charts and
what happened
to map it all out, and you see these dispensationalist charts.
I tell people all the time, if I'm riding your bus and a chart comes out and it's got a dragon on it and up and down arrows and it says Revelation at the top, I'm like, stop the bus. This is my stop. I'm out. I'm out.
You might have seen these things, folks. If you're if you've been around for a while, you might have seen these charts.
The thing that's happened is, man, you're trying to demystify the Bible.
That's right.
And everything becomes so literal.
It's systems and literal stuff, right?
And Daniel plays a huge part in
Daniel, these very things that people knew as obvious metaphor when you read it, throughout the last 2,000 years in scriptures. They are now literal. So you get wild stuff, right? Some books came out.
I tell you what makes me upset about it. What? I guess my blood pressure up. You wind up knowing the system better than the Bible.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you've got this massive framework, and you've never read the Bible.
Yeah.
And so you go in there and you start reading the Bible, and you're just trying to hang it on this framework these people gave you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the problem is, eventually, you read stuff and you're like, wait a minute, what? You start asking questions like, well, who is Israel? Once somebody says that, they're done. I feel some lug nuts rolling off this thing. It's like, wait, Jesus is going to reign 1,000 years, literally? Yes. And they're going to be like normal people here.
Yeah.
Not redeemed. And they're like, yeah. It's like, but there will also be glorified saints walking around? Like, yes. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening here?
Yeah. They don't really have an end. Well, it's just a wild.
There's a rapture and people are getting saved on earth. And it's like, yes. It's like, and they're in the church. Yes. Are they going to miss the marriage supper of the Lamb? They're like, yeah, but they didn't get saved in time. It's like, what?
Yeah.
This is not a merit-based issue.
Yeah.
You what is
It's
happening?
got a lot of problems.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't go there for the theology. I went there for the languages. I actually got to skip all that stuff.
Yeah, there's
some.
some covenantalists hanging around
There
at DTS
are,
going,
yeah.
hey man, come over here. I got something for you.
I had a professor. He was there. He was actually the longest tenure professor there. Mm-hmm. Great dude, awesome guy. And they were doing it was an anniversary it was one of the anniversaries of the seminary's founding, and they were wanting to do a DTS study Bible.
Yeah.
And they wanted him to contribute. And he told us, he was like, hey, I said, absolutely not. He was like, I'm not touching that thing. It's like, and he said, dispensationalism needs to die.
My goodness. It was funny at my seminary, most practical, practical professors, like if they're teaching intro to evangelism, pastoral care.
Oh, they were all, I'm sure.
Every one of those guys, dispensationalists.
Yeah, yeah.
If you jumped over to the scholar side, like teachers of
The languages,
Greek, languages, systematic theology, Christian philosophy, none of them are dispensationalists.
Yeah.
And they all like make fun of each other all the time.
It's weird.
They used to say, now look, if the rapture comes tomorrow, never fear, this doctor will be here.
So you may be listening to this. You may be like, this is strange. I'm hearing Jess and Brad talk about like some things that I've only ever heard to be, this is how the end times are.
Right.
And we don't believe that.
Yes. And
there are other options, more historical options.
I want you to think about this, dear listener.
Yeah.
If every single thing I've just told you is familiar, the 1,000-year reign, the
tribulation,
Israel, the church, the tribulation, all that stuff, and you know that stuff like the back of your hand, but you've never read the Bible through once in your whole life.
Yeah.
You are falling victim to the thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You have been taught a framework and not the scripture.
That's right.
And now then it is very difficult for you to disassemble that frame.
Yeah.
And just read the Bible.
Yeah.
And have it hold together, because reading the Bible's hard. You do need a framework.
Yeah.
And that's why the Schofield Bible discipled so many people.
Yeah.
Because I love my people, okay? The rednecks of Alabama.
Yeah.
I love them. That's my people.
Yeah. Same.
They don't know nothing. Okay? You get some backwoods preacher. Now, some of y'all are educated. Don't get your feelings hurt. But you think about 1955, and some guy in Aroni comes to Jesus. Somebody says, you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, you'll be saved. And this dude gets saved. And they hand him a Schofield study Bible. Well, he don't know nothing, man.
That's it.
He's going to look at the bottom part where the commentary is as thus saith the Lord nearly.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. That was the only study Bible there was. And they're all reading the King James, which I think the NIV's written on a 6th, 7th grade level, something like that, reading level, which is what you aim for.
Yeah.
King James is college.
Yeah, it is.
So you got this guy out here who may not have ever read much of any other book in his life. He's working at Goodyear. Like I'm thinking of my grandparents, man. This is what they did. Or farming or running a grist mill. They're handed a King James Schofield Bible there. It's hard enough to read the King James.
Yeah.
So they're reading down there where it says, oh, this in Daniel where it's talking about this leopard that looks like a wild beast that has wings like a thing. This represents the Greek Empire. And this happened in this date, and it is a foreshadowing here of the Antichrist or the government that's going to come in the end. And you're just reading that like, oh, okay, it's in the Bible. It must be true.
Yeah.
And boom, there's your whole framework.
Yep, that's it.
The thing was, if the Presbyterians want to get hurt about it, these covenantalists like ourselves, if you don't get your feelings hurt, here's the deal. You got out-discipled.
Oh, 100%.
They out-discipled you.
Yep.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, and it's sensational, too. It has that going for it. It's sensational. It's like, it sounds like a novel, and that's why it made such good novels.
It makes sense like saying the sun rises.
Yeah.
It does, because every day you can get up and go, look, there it is.
Yep.
And then some jerk like Galileo or Copernicus or whoever comes along and says, the sun doesn't actually rise, dude. It's your perspective because the earth is spinning.
Yeah.
And they're like, shut your pie hole.
Yeah.
And I ain't even got to the part to tell you where the earth is not the center of the universe. It's like, what? Everything revolves around us. It's like, well, that's what it seems like because you're sitting on it.
Yeah.
But then like people are like, stop it. You're messing me up.
Yeah.
That's what happens with the Bible.
Yeah. So that's like a kind of a roundabout way to get to what we're talking about in Numbers 19. So that's like the back. I know that was a long little trip, but that's the backdrop. I was like,
We didn't even do it justice.
Why? We didn't. We've not done everything.
Let me make some caveats.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dispensationalists love Jesus
So much.
They're going to die and go to heaven.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the resurrection of the dead. They're going to be with Jesus.
Christians in our county are dispensationalists.
Most of them. They're wrong. But they're good people.
They're good
we love them.
Right. This is not a main issue, a primary issue.
No, this
primary
is tertiary.
Doctrine. Yeah. It's
because
on the fringes.
You believe Jesus is truly God, truly man. You believe the Holy Spirit. You believe the Trinity. You believe Christ is literally bodily resurrected from the dead. You believe the Bible is the Word of God. I mean, we are bros.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So I'm picking at you.
Yeah.
For some dumb stuff you believe. It's okay.
Yeah.
And look, if you're right in the end, and Jesus raptures us up there, and there's 7 years of tribulation, I'm like, man, you got me, bro.
Yeah.
You got me. Didn't make no sense to me, but it's fine.
Yeah.
If that's the worst thing I do, like Jesus, like, yeah, man, you struck out on that dispensational covenantalist. I'll be like, that's was the worst thing.
Yeah.
Jesus, like, yeah, I'll be like, I did great.
That's right. Yeah. So here's like a little quick rundown of things that you might have heard about that are included in the dispensationalism thing. Yeah. So you have the millennium, the 1,000-year millennium, the mark of the beast, right? The tribulation, the rapture.
God's dealing with Israel. This is the most complicated one. Somehow the nation state of Israel has most favored nation status with God, and therefore if we say anything bad about Israel, then we are going to incur God's wrath.
We are theologically, morally obligated to support Israel now.
Yes.
That's including this. We don't believe those things. I don't think that there's a case in the scriptures for them. I understand how they got there, but I don't think it was a good path to get there, right?
No.
And I heard them all. I heard it from the horse's mouth, man. I was there. Like I heard them all talk about it.
Oh, yeah,
and I thought
too.
It didn't make any sense. When you actually look at the scriptures, like just what does the actual Bible say? Not what were you taught, not how were you discipled. I didn't buy it. And so we don't believe that. And here's why it gets important, because you get to somewhere like Numbers 19 and enmeshed in all of that stuff about dispensationalism, there is this idea about these red heifers.
Yes.
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
It's so bizarre.
So in dispensationalism, before Antichrist can come, before the end of the world can come, they have to rebuild the temple.
They have to have a functioning
temple. They have to
temple
have a functioning
because
temple.
in dispensationalism, they're going to be making sacrifices during the millennium.
And the Antichrist is going to go in the temple and declare himself to be God. That has to happen in their scheme. Not scheme. I don't mean they're scheming, but
I know what you mean.
The schematic of the framework of the thing.
Yeah.
And so if there's no temple, this can't happen.
Yeah.
And in order to have a temple, there's this thing where they have to have a perfect red heifer sacrifice to sprinkle its ashes around to purify the temple.
So that's you'll hear this like every once in a while. I've heard it recently.
Yes,
on a podcast recently.
They've bred a perfect red heifer in Texas.
They're getting these red heifers ready for Israel. Like it's about to all happen. It's all about to go down.
It's going down.
Like any day now, the Antichrist is going to rise up, and the Dome of the Rock is going to be, the mosque there is going to be torn down. We're going to build Israel's going to build the temple, and
here we go.
Yeah, you be ready for the rapture. The rapture is about to happen any moment, and so
the rapture could happen at any moment.
It could. Yeah,
it's a little different
not
than you
what,
think.
What we were talking about.
I think when he comes back and we get caught up in there, it's game over.
You will all know it.
You will know it
when Jesus returns.
He's going to be blowing a trumpet, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, it's like
dead people waking up. It's so obvious. Yeah. Right.
Anyways, so here's the passage. Okay, this is Numbers 19. We've spent so long just to give the pretext for this. Yes. So you have this passage in Numbers 19 about how it's a purification ritual for the tabernacle, where they take a red cow and they burn it. Right?
Yes.
They sacrifice
Without
it and burn
blemish.
it without blemish. It's a red. I don't even know what is red. Does that mean like Auburn or something?
It's probably like a red
Brownish,
Angus.
a red Angus thing.
Angus,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not like bright red, right?
No. The colors are weird.
Are they?
Yeah, because they didn't have names for it. They didn't even have when.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
This is much later.
We're not talking about Crimson Tide.
No,
red.
when they wrote the Odyssey,
Yeah.
they didn't have the color blue.
Yeah.
They called the sea green.
Yeah.
Even the color orange, we didn't have that
Isn't that
name.
wild?
We didn't call it. It was called red.
Yeah.
That's why people with orange hair are called redheads, because it was red. The fruit was called an orange before there was a color orange, and they started associating the color orange with the fruit.
Yeah.
The fruit came first.
How about that?
And so when they say red heifer, could have been orange.
Yeah. It's
Could have
just
been like a limousine.
Yeah.
Not the car,
Yeah.
the limousine cow.
no one knows what that is.
I do, because I'm a redneck. It's an orange-looking cow. If you look
Okay.
out there and you see this big old cow and he looks orange,
Yeah. Well, they got to have this cow.
Yeah, it's
And
gotta have
anyways, all that roundabout.
Yeah.
What's the big deal about this? Well, there isn't actually that big of a deal about it. But if it depends on who you listen to, if you were to like open up certain resources and you were to see like this passage being brought up, and you're going to read about it, you're going to try to understand this passage, you might go down a crazy rabbit trail.
Absolutely.
About how important, what is the big deal about this passage. And look, we don't have a temple. We don't need a temple. You know where the temple is today?
it's in heaven.
Well, kind of, but it's also here.
No, I meant like the actual thing.
Yeah.
The temple was a shadow.
Yeah.
Right. To teach us about
In
heaven.
the New Testament, you are a temple. Like the church is the temple of the Holy Spirit, right? You don't need a red heifer sacrificed and ashes spread on you in order to be a legitimate temple of the Lord, right?
I'm looking for my dispensational study Bible.
You have a dispensational study
I
Bible?
have a MacArthur around here. I wonder what he says.
Oh, yeah, he's a dispensationalist. John MacArthur. Yeah.
He's the champion of the dispens.
Yeah, he likes
Ah, well,
dispensationalism.
shoot.
Yeah.
We'll get it later.
They're
Anyway,
good folks.
Yeah.
It's just a wow. It's eclectic. You know, you mentioned at the very beginning of it, you're talking about like the different time periods. One of the wildest things about dispensationalism to me is that you have this idea about the time periods in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
It means nothing
Nothing.
for the end times views.
No.
You can like slice that right in half, and it doesn't have any association with the idea of a rapture and a pre-tribulational rapture. And I asked a prof once about this. I was like, could you, I told him it seems eclectic. Could you explain the relationship between the two? And what he ended up having to say is that the reason they're included in the same framework is because they were two separate ideas that evolved theologically at the same time in the movement.
Well, what a lot of the dispensationalists will say when I ask them that question is they will say God has never fulfilled his promises to Israel.
Yeah, that's right.
And so
That's what they would say,
7
yeah.
years of tribulation is necessary because God has not fulfilled his promises.
Well,
But he did. He
Yeah,
says
he
in
did.
Joshua.
I know it.
It was
Yeah.
like point blank.
Yeah.
And God gave them all the land and did everything that he said he was going to do for
you mean
Israel.
the 1,000 years?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
the millennial kingdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the millennial kingdom is necessary because Israel never got what God promised,
Yeah.
but they did.
But it doesn't have anything to do with the actual
Dispensations.
name
Yes.
dispensationalism.
No.
In the breaking it up and
No.
in
fact, there were covenantalists who believe in a little 1,000-year reign.
yeah, and
It's
there's
called, what is that
covenantalists.
called? Chiastic. What do they call it?
It's historic
Historic
premillennialism.
premillennialism. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fine position. And there's covenants that believe in dispensations too, right? Covenantalists believe in there are lots of them. They're the ones who they're like the precursors to this whole thing. It's like everyone for a while starts talking about like the dispensation of grace and the dispensation of all this kind of stuff. And so it's kind of funny that the name ended up being dispensationalism when it actually has nothing to do with the main things that they're really worried about.
Yeah.
That's so
So
nerdy
the red
and
heifer,
in the weeds.
the red heifer is important to them in the modern day because for the temple to be rebuilt, they have to have this red heifer to be sacrificed.
That's right.
And once that temple is built, then it's
Then Jesus is allowed to come back.
It's the final countdown.
Yeah. It's the final countdown.
Yeah. Oh man, we crushed that. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen if you're a dispensationalist.
We didn't plan on talking about all that.
Not a bit.
But it might be interesting to you. If that was interesting to you, you're welcome.
You're welcome. If not, I'd be like,
there's the end time stuff is fascinating to a lot of people. How sensational it is.
Yes.
And how how many of y'all were like scared out of your minds in Sunday school when you were in 7th grade by some like Sunday school teacher that was talking to you about how Russia is, is going to invade the world and stuff. And
the Bible says that the eagles and the bears are going to get in a big fight, and that's Russia and the eagles, and that's the United States and Russia, because Russia's symbol's a bear and America's eagle. And I was like,
the locusts flying around in Revelation are helicopters
with guns. And I like, there's no place in the Bible that says half that stuff. I was told
the locusts are locusts.
Yeah,
it's like metaphor, pal. It's like imagery.
Well, yes, I know, man. It's so
stuff drives me crazy, man.
It is crazy, and it's like I don't know, man. It's like there's a gotcha thing to it. I'm not sure. It's like they're just rejoicing that, man, Jesus gonna come get all these other people, and there's gonna be lots of suffering and stuff.
Yeah, there's that. That's part of it. And then there's another issue is that the escapism with it, like that all the true Christians are gonna be raptured. No, like Christians aren't gonna have to endure bad things.
Yeah,
that is ridiculous in the New Testament. Like, what New Testament are you reading?
Yeah.
Like, over and over again, Jesus is telling them they're going to come after you. They're going to kill you. They're going to make your life horrible.
Yeah.
Right?
Not me. I'm getting saved like Noah in the ark.
Rescued out of this, right?
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. This is the wrath of God, not the wrath of man. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, next week, we're going to talk about Miriam dying in the Bible. And
we didn't plan on doing all this, folks.
No,
we just started
we were going to talk about other stuff, and we had too much caffeine.
Yeah, we did. These stinking Monster energy drinks, man, they just get me going.
Yeah.
They're so good, though.
Yeah.
This peach flavored one, I love that. That's good.
Oh, that's a good one. I like the orange one.
Well, folks, I think we're going to call it on that.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you guys for listening and hanging with us.
And look, the next podcast will be better.
It'll
be
be better.
promise.
It'll be better, I promise. Yeah. Just don't leave us. Okay. Yeah. Give us another shot. Give us another chance, please.
And Mike Cosper, if you listen, good job, buddy.
Yeah,
whatever
we appreciate what you're doing, man. Good guy. All right. We'll see y'all next week.
See ya.